Hi everyone, welcome to Interpersonal Communication. This is an online section of a communication course, which seems a little weird, I know, but I think we're going to facilitate it very well, and I have a lot of interesting and fun applications of interpersonal communication to work through this semester. So it's a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Bree Brasher, and I will be your course instructor for this Communication 1030 course. So feel free to call me Bree, call me Professor Brasher, whichever you prefer, but Bree is definitely fine. Office hours. I actually live in Newcastle, Wyoming, so everything will be virtual, hence the online portion of the class. So office hours are Monday and Wednesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. or Tuesdays from 9 to 10. I can also always meet you by appointment if those times don't fit well into your schedule. And over here I'll teach you a little bit about the Zoom platform that we may or may not be using depending on how the course goes and if I think we need to meet for any purpose. So Zoom is just an online function, kind of like FaceTime, but in a group setting. It's very easy to use, download, kind of a really user-friendly application. So I will help you with all of that, no worries at all. We do have a required introductory Zoom meeting over here, and that's going to be worth 10 points. That's just for you knowing that you can use Zoom, access any office hours, all those kinds of things. So pop in, say hey, ask any questions, and you will already start off the course well with 10 points. Alright, moving right along here, our course dates are January 9th to May 4th, and any breaks and all those things have been incorporated into your schedule. Your required text is called Interplay, and we are using the 13th edition. There is a 14th, but try and stick with the 13th if you can. So students are responsible for reading and understanding all materials assigned in the text, even if not directly covered in class. So I am going to pull out certain pieces and parts that I think are juicy and fun to talk about, but you are still responsible for the chapters as a whole and the content as a whole. So being sure that you've read the chapter, participated in the discussion and everything leading up to taking your chapter quizzes. We also have 3 exams throughout the course covering the text, and those quizzes should help you prepare. And then we'll have 3 larger papers, but the rest will just be that weekly discussion, typically prompted by an interesting video clip, possibly a song, possibly a quote, or maybe just an element that I picked out from the text that I want to discuss and have some personal examples for. So every week should be different, interesting, and fun, kind of a real-life application of interpersonal communication. As you can tell, I'm pretty excited about this course, and I hope that you guys will be too. Alright, down here is the course description. This course introduces students to the basic concepts and theories of interpersonal communication and provides classroom discussion, activities, and assignments that exemplify those theories and promote critical thinking about communication behavior. So keep on reading there. Make sure you're reading over the syllabus pretty detailed and carefully. But knowing the big thing here is that this meets your Communication 1 requirement. Alright, course objectives. This successful student will be able to demonstrate detailed knowledge of interpersonal communication through successful completion of tests and quizzes on material read, discussion on weekly topics, and papers written to apply and analyze course material. Alright, communication practices, guys, for this course. I prefer email as our prominent means of communication, and I will try to get back to you within 24 hours during weekdays, and if I don't, please nudge me. Send me a little reminder email, and I'll be sure to get back to you as fast as I can. On the weekends, give me about 48 hours, please, but I will always be checking email, and I try and really make that a point to reply quickly. Alright, attendance. This is an online class. Everything is due on Sundays typically, unless otherwise specified with a specific due date. So you can kind of work at your own pace each week, but knowing that everything is due for that week by 11:55 on Sundays. If you have a university or medical excuse for an extension, that's the only time I can give you one. Unexcused absences, no late work is accepted for those unless there's an extenuating circumstance, and then we can visit about that. But for the most part, no late work accepted. Please get everything in by Sunday nights. All right, the grade earned in this class depends on the amount of work that the student chooses to do, as well as the quality. And guys, I have a typo here, I'm sorry. Your overall point value here is 700 points. So not this 575, it's 700 points. So making that up here, we have exams for 300 points, 100 points each, papers 150 points each, and 50 points each, making up 150 points. And then our message board discussion thread, you will get 10 points each week for 12 weeks of discussion thread. So some weeks, like if you have an exam or those kinds of things, you might not have a discussion thread, all of that. And then 120 points for quizzes, 12 chapters, 10 points each. And then that Zoom meet and greet here, this will take place on Thursday, January 11th at either 10 a.m. or 6 p.m. And I'll hang out a little bit online if you can't be on right at 11 or right at 6:30. But again, this is just a brief little check-in, asking any questions, making sure you know how to use Zoom if you ever need to meet with me. If those times don't work well, please email me early this week for other accommodations and times, all right? ADA accommodations, if you have a disability of any kind that affects this course and your involvement in this course, please let me know right away, and I will work with you to make any accommodations that I possibly can. All right. Academic dishonesty. This is the worst part about being an instructor or professor, is having to talk about this and deal with this. So my main rule here is when in doubt, cite. You will never get in trouble for citing too much, okay? So if there's ever a problem, or you're struggling with how to cite or what to cite, please email me right away and I'll do my best to help you. If you're paraphrasing, throw that citation on there. Use your own words when you can. If you're using a direct quote, provide that page or paragraph number. So just be as thorough as possible here, and don't get behind, because I think that's where students feel the need or the pressure to steal another student's work or copy something online. So stay ahead of your work and you should do really, really well in this class. All right, so again, here is our point breakdown there. And then we have our tentative course schedule here. So this first week, we're just reviewing the syllabus. We're going to do some introductory exercises in our first message board there, and then our Zoom meet and greet on Thursday. So I've kind of provided a broken down schedule based on Tuesday, Thursday. So you can choose to follow this where you're reading chapter 1 on Tuesday, then you're responding to the discussion thread on Thursday, and then you're taking the chapter 1 quiz on Thursday. Again, this is just a guideline. If you feel like you can do everything on Sundays, you can do everything on Sundays, but I really suggest breaking it out a little bit so that you can participate in the discussion thread fully. That's kind of going to guide our course, is that this discussion thread, and some might take longer than others, so be prepared to plan in that time for the discussion thread. You're going to have to respond to a classmate and really correspond in the thread as well. So I suggest setting that aside and doing that earlier in the week rather than later. Okay? Here we have winter break scheduled in. Our first paper is due on the 6th. Notice that it is assigned on the 23rd, and then you have a couple weeks until it's due. So you will always be sure to note what is due that week and what is not due that week, and start to prepare for things that are due later. All right, so if you go through here and you have any questions, please feel free to email me or ask me in our Zoom meeting. There's some Zoom instructions over here that will help you, and you can just click on this link and it'll walk you through the steps. Some applications have a hard time with walking through the steps, but most make it very, very easy. If you're having trouble, try and download Zoom, the application. It's free, and then try and work from there, knowing that you do have to have a webcam for this, so you can use your smartphone too. There is an application for computer and smartphone. Again, I'm very reachable through email, and I'm happy to meet you in Zoom individually throughout the semester. So please just send me a note whenever you need me, and I look forward to meeting you all. All right, I'll talk to you soon.